Following Apple's recent update to the App Store guidelines, a handful of exciting emulator apps have launched in the App Store, while many are gearing up to arrive sooner rather than later. That means if you have a penchant for playing retro games on your iPhone, now is the right time to break all the shackles and enjoy retro gaming to the core. That said, let's have a quick look at all the popular emulators that are available for iPhone. First off, I would like to talk about Delta. Delta is an incredibly popular emulator for several Nintendo consoles with beautiful on-screen controller skins, support for a wide range of physical controllers, and more. Developed by Relay Tested, Delta is the successor to the GBA4 iOS emulator. Talking about the supported devices, Delta currently supports iPhone, and it is going to support iPad as well, sooner rather than later. Now, talking about the supported consoles, Delta supports Game Boy, all models, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and Nintendo 64. Next up, I would like to talk about RetroArch. RetroArch is a fortin that provides all-in-one access to many different emulators for consoles from Atari, Commodore, Nintendo, Sega, Sony, and others. The app offers retro achievements, which are essentially custom challenges added on top of classic games such as Find and Collect or Fire Flower in Super Mario Bros. For NES. Now, let's talk about the supported devices for RetroArch. It supports iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. As for the supported consoles, it supports Atari 2600, Commodore 64, PlayStation, PlayStation Portable, Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn, Game Boy, all models, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and Nintendo 64. Next up, I would like to talk about PlayStation Portable Emulator. PlayStation Portable Emulator aka PPSSPP is built into RetroArch, but it is also available as a standalone app for those who want a more distilled experience. Now, let's talk about the supported devices for PlayStation Portable Emulator. It supports iPhone and iPad. And as for the console support, it supports PlayStation Portable PSP. And finally, I would like to talk about Gamma. Gamma is an emulator for the original PlayStation. It is developed by George TTD, who has been creating emulators for jailbroken iPhones for around 15 years. Now, let's talk about the supported devices for Gamma. It currently supports iPhone and iPad. And as for the supported consoles, it only supports PlayStation, PS1. And that's all there is to it. So these are the best iPhone emulators on the App Store. Now that you have unlocked all the cool emulators, it's time to play your favorite games to your heart's liking. And I'll see you in the next video with more such handy tips and tricks. Till then, stay safe and have a good time. Bye.